Okay, so I've done 12 rows of crocodile stitch, which breaks down to 24 rows because you have the row crocodile stitch, then the row of foundation, row crocodile stitch, then the row of foundation. So in total, we have 24 rows, but there are 12 rows of actual crocodile stitch. So now that I have all of that done, I'm where I need to be to start working on my hood. Now I've already blocked that off, and actually let me cut this so I get to the end, and we're just gonna pull that through, pull it tight. So I have 8 crocodile stitches on this side and 8 on the opposite side, and that's where I have them blocked off. I have them blocked off on the 8th one on each side. So I'm going to be working over what's in the middle, and that is 15 crocodile stitches, and that is where I'll be placing my hood over that. So once you have the length that you need going up and you're at your shoulders, let me add my yarn on finger so I can add it on here. So let's look at this. Now this one is the 8th one. I pull it through the middle so I don't use that one. All right, now we're going to start making our crocodile stitches right in between the one next to that. So I'm actually just going to go here in between to add on my yarn, chaining up 3, and then I'm going to go right in the middle and add my next one for that set in the middle, and then chain 2. So we have 8 on this side, crocodile stitches we did not work in, and we're going to work right in between these two, okay? And over the next 15, and we'll have 8 crocodile stitches unworked in on this side. So if you're working on the same sides as me, and even not, give you an idea of how we're going to start this, we're going to build the first foundation row together. So once we have our set of 2 and we've chained 2, we're going to keep placing these just like we did down here. We're going to keep placing them in between each of our crocodile stitches. So my next set of double crochets is going to be in between these 2, chain 2, and then we have one here and one here. So our next set is going to go in between here. So 2 double crochets here, and then chain 2, and our next set here will go here, and our next set will go here in between these 2, and we're placing 2 double crochet just like we did down below in the same stitch, and chaining 2, and we'll keep working it And remember, I like to lay mine on top of each other and go through that, so it's like that, so it's overlaying. But you don't have to if you don't want to. We already went over that down below. Chain 2. And we're going to keep going all the way until we get to the opposite side. Chain 2 to that one. Fold that. And my 2 double crochets there. And right here would be my last one, because this one is the 8th one that will add into the 8 unworked in. So this is the last one I'm going to work in. So I'm going to place one in the middle, just like we did on the opposite end. I'm going to place one in the center here. And I'm still going to fold this half and place one right here. And now this is what we'll be working back and forth, and just like we did below. Now we're going to start with working here, okay? So being as though we're starting working here, when we do come back and do our next set, we will be skipping the first one and working over in the next one. And then we'll alternate that back and forth just like we did below. So I'm going to turn this to the side. And I'm just going to do one of these. So we're going to chain 3. And we're going to place 4 more double crochets around this half. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that we place 4 more, the chain 3, counts as 1. So it's a double. So that means we have 5 here. We chain our 1. Going to turn our work slightly so we can work on the other double crochet on the other side, and place 5 double crochets there. 3, 4, and 5, and chain 1, and then we'll keep on. But we've already gone over how to do the crocodile stitch, so I'm not going to go back over that. So we'll go all the way down the line in every single space that we've created on this foundation row, and we'll place it all the way to the end. Now, when we come back up to the next row, we will be, after we make our foundation, and we make our foundation and all of them, but we will be skipping the ones on the end. So we will not be working here. We'll be working in between all of them, just like we have been working in between. So we'll be stopping here, and this one we will slip stitch into. And in the front, when we begin, we'll just chain our 3 and go into the next one. Okay, so we're going to go all the way down, and I'm going to show you how to begin that first row again, just so you understand that we're alternating, and we're skipping the first one on every other row. Okay, but we're building in all the spots where we're supposed to build our foundation chain. We just will be skipping the first foundation chain in the next row, just like we did here, alternating back and forth. Okay, so I've finished my first row on my hood, and I'm here. So I'm going to now chain up 3, 2, and 3 to start building my foundation. And I'm going to go here, and I want to go in here. Okay, now we went in here for this foundation row, and that's because it was the beginning of a row, but now we're going to go back in here for our second double crochet in that set. Now we only do this normally when we are skipping the first one. Okay, again, we did it here underneath because we were beginning a brand new row, and it was kind of different, so we wanted to make sure we hit all the points where we wanted this to be. So we're going to do this on every row that we're skipping, just like down below on all of our skip rows where we're going to skip that first one. The foundation underneath should be 1 here and 1 in the middle, and we'll do the same thing on the last crocodile stitch for the hood. We'll go in the middle and in right here, and that's for every row that we're not going to be going into that first one. That is how we're going to start that row. So chain your 2 and go on down, placing where we normally place, which would be in between each crocodile stitch, until we get to the last one, which we'll place like this. Okay, so we have gotten to the end. I have my last one for my hood. And remember, we're going to go inside of the middle of this one, the last one, and then work our last double crochet through the top of that last double crochet. So we're in the middle and the last and the double crochet, the first one, we're going to work our last double crochet there. All right. And then we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. And remember, because we're skipping this first set, that 3 is just going to help us reach the second one. Okay. And we'll start there and work all the way down to the one before the last, and I'll come back in and go over that one more time with you. So go ahead and work yours all the way to the opposite end. And I'll catch up with you on the opposite side, just so you see. Whoop. That one's halfway made, but you see we have skipped that first one and went right to the second one. Okay, so I have gotten to the end here. Remember, we're not working into that last one. So I'm just going to slip stitch or chain or single crochet into the top of that chain 3. And we're going to chain up 1, 2, and 3. So we worked on this row, the first row, we worked over here. The second row, we skipped the first one and we worked over here. Now we want to come back and work 1 here. So remember, this stands as a double, and then we'll be placing our second one here, just like that. Okay. And after that, chain 2, and then we're going right back to in between our crocodile stitches to place our 2 double crochets. Chain 2 and move on to the next in between section to place your next ones. And we'll go all the way down to the end, and then right the same way we did 2 at the end, we'll do 2 at the end there as well, but I'll show you when we get down there. So continue on all the way down, and I'll meet you at the opposite side. Okay, so I'm back to the opposite end, and remember that last one, you want to place, this is your chain 3 from skipping. You just want to place in your first double crochet here, and in the back your first there. So you have that chain 3 area, but it counts for nothing. It was just for spacing. And we'll place 2 double crochets in that area. And now we're going to start making our crocodile stitch here. So, and we'll go all the way to the opposite end. So I've given you the basic foundation rules again. So once you get past the first row of your crocodile stitch, you're going to go here and here. Okay, so we will be alternating the rows that go in the middle, and here are going to be the ones that you skip over and skip the first one. And once you have placed here, you know that that's when you're going to go in. So I hope you guys get that. You can go back and forth between the two different rows, which only change at the end, depending on which row you're on. And you can go up from there. And we're going to make our hood as big as we need to make our hood to fit the head that we need to make it fit. So I will come back in and tell you how many rows. This particular one I'm making for a little head. So I want to come in and tell you exactly how many rows I went up. I'm going to start and put my 4 double crochets here. 3 and 4. Chain 1, and I'm going to turn this around to get to the other side and place 5 there and chain 1. And we'll keep going down and going up as much as we need to establish a good hood for the head we need to make for. So let's go ahead and finish our hood. We've gotten to the end of our crocodile rows. I have 7 rows with crocodile stitch. Now, you know, it's 14 moves because we had to do the foundation for the crocodile rows, and then we had to do the crocodile, but it makes up 7 rows of crocodile stitch rows. Okay, so once we finish that, we have to put on a few rows of half doubles. So I'm just going to show you the proper place to place the half doubles, and then we'll build from there. And we're going to build these half double rows in the same manner as which we built the half double rows right here. Nothing different, just rows of half doubles upon half doubles upon half doubles. But I'll tell you exactly how many of them I did. So once we've chained 1 to end off that last crocodile row, we want to, in the between our crocodiles, we want to place 1 half double. Now in this area right here, which I've been folding over like this, we want to place 2 half doubles. 1 and 2. All right. And then moving on again, in the middle of our crocodile stitch, we want to place 1 half double. And in the skip, the chain 2 space, we want to place 2. No, we're not placing 2 in the same spot. 1 here, and then I'll move over, go further down, and place 1 there. And then back again in the middle of our crocodile stitch, 1 half double, and in our chain 2 area, again, I'm going to fold this down, and we're going to go inside of there. And again, inside the middle. And we're going to place 2 on the chain 2 space from the foundation row below. So this is going to be how it looks. All right, 1 in the center and 2 right here. And again, 1 in the center and 2 in between. So we're going to work this up for a minute. We're going to go all the way down to the end, and I'll show you where the last stitch will be on the end. Now I'm all the way back to this end. So where the last one goes here, it's right into the center. Okay. So for this end, center, and we begin here in the center. So when we're working back and forth, when you're going on our next row, we will begin here and we will end in this center, and we will build up further from there. So we're going to chain one. We're actually going back to turning our work, and we're going to go right back into that first stitch with a half double, and we'll half double all the way down that line. When we get to the end, chain one, turn our work, and do it again. And I will tell you exactly how many rows we're going to do. Okay, so I have now placed on 9 rows for the rest of the way. Okay, so we have 9 rows of half doubles. I did not cut off my yarn, and I'm going to chain one. Now, in order to form your hood, we just want to fold this. Now, this will be the outside, of course, where the crocodile stitches are. So we want to fold it. So we want to fold it to where the crocodile stitches are on the inside, and you see the backs of them on the outside, because that will be the outside of this will be the inside of our blanket. So in order to close this off, all we're going to do is match these stitches up all the way down this line. We're going to start by going into the first stitch here and the first stitch on the opposite side and making a single crochet. We are then going to go into the second one here and the second one on the opposite side and make a single crochet. And we're going to continue that all the way down till we get to this end, just matching up the next stitch with the stitch in the front. So the next stitch in the front with the next stitch in the back and making a single crochet. So go all the way down just like that. Now when you get to the end and the last stitch, it's pretty much just a flat stitch that's both sides. You want to go through the that too. Okay, so all the way to the end, you see that that's just one stitch instead of two all the way down, but you want to go into that one as well. Then we're going to cut our yarn and pull this through. Now we're going to turn our hood onto the right side. And there is our hood just like that. Now, I've given a little extra height to our hood right here. And the reason being is because he has a long neck. So I wanted to give a little bit more neck look with that. If that does not appeal to you and you don't want that, and you'll see, you saw from the beginning how it looks. And if you do not want that, then I would just shorten, if you're making the same size as me, that is. But I would just shorten this by 2 crocodile rows, okay? Because as you see, by 2 crocodile rows. But I want to give that impression of that long neck in there because it's all in fun and we want to make it a little bit similar. So now, and as far as this part right here, the reason why we want to make it spacious enough is because this is where we will be placing the eyes, and this is one of our eyes. We'll work on that in a little bit. So we will be placing eyes here. So you just want to make sure this space is wide enough for the eyes to sit how you would want them to sit in the front. But before we get to the eyes, I just wanted to break that down about the hood size. We want to make our pockets because we'll be placing a pocket here and we'll be placing a pocket here. So we're going to use our yellow. I'm going to move this out the way. We're going to use our yellow to make our pocket. All right. So to start my pocket, I want to chain up 21. So we're going to chain up 21. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we have our 21. We're going to yarn over, and not in the first stitch from the hook, but the second one. We want to go in there and place a half double. And we want to half double all the way down to the end of this foundation chain. By the end of it, we should have 20 half doubles. We then want to chain 1, turn our work, and into that first stitch, we want to go right back in there and place another half double. Now once we get to the last stitch, chain one, turn your work and repeat. Now, talking about the pockets, we're going to make our pockets as um I'm doing 21. If you need to make your pockets larger, because remember I'm making a small pocket, if you're doing you're using a bigger hand, you're gonna need a bigger pocket. Um, we want to make sure that our hand is bigger. I mean, the pocket is bigger than our hand, or the hand is going to be using it. Of course, I have little fingers using this pocket, so this is definitely going to be wide enough for me. If you need it wider, of course, you'll just chain the length that you need and do the same thing. Now, as far as height, you want it to be the width of your hand, if not wider, for the most part wider. So for this one, I'm going to see with the little fingers that I'm going to be using, I'll see exactly how many rows I'm going to go over, and I'll come back in and tell you exactly what that is, but that's how you're going to get your pocket size. You want it to be longer than the hand, and you want it to be greater than the width of the hand. Okay, so I've decided to do 10 rows. I think that's perfect for little fingers. We're going to cut off our yarn when we're done. And we're just going to pull it right through and down. And we'll weave in these two ends. But remember, you need two of these. So we will be making two of these, the pockets. So I'm going to make my other one, and I'm going to move that out the way real quick. And I want to bring back in my hood. Now, when making elements for this blanket, I thought about putting in a little beak, but I didn't want it to be too weighted. This is, you know, right there where the child's head is. And I thought it would be a bit too much. Now, if you have watched my other videos, you might see that I have worked in a border around my hood. Usually I use black because that's usually the next color, which would fall in the mouth area. But on this one, because we have our crocodile stitches, they kind of blend here and they work well here. And of course we have them over here, and we have that feather look going on. I will not be doing anything over there. The only other thing, if you want this to be cleaner, is you can take a row of single crochets and go all the way across, but I don't feel as though it's necessary, since I'm not putting in the beak. The beak will be the next thing. I don't want to bring in black because that's technically not the next thing. So I'm actually going to leave my hood top like this. But again, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I usually put something around the hood. But because of the crocodile stitches, I think I'm going to leave it be. If you decide to do something else, that's great. But we're going to leave this be because the idea I had for the beak, I feel like it would be too much on a little person's head. And I don't want to make it too weighted at the top. So we're going to get through that, and we're going to move on. Got through that, I should say. We're going to get to making our eyes. All right. Now, there will be black pupils that go into the center of the eyes. I'm going to grab one in a second and show you. I will not be showing you how to work that particular piece. And the reason why is because it's black and it may be hard for you to see me and where I'm going. So as I'm working the eye, the pieces are the pieces are done in the exact same way. So as I'm working the eye, when it gets to the point where you would cut off for the pupil, I will either mention it or make note on the screen for you to end off there for your black part with that, okay? So I'm gonna put this down. Let's find the let me find my little already existing black pieces, and so you can see them beforehand. And let's grab our 3.5 millimeter hook, because that's when we're gonna bring that in. And we'll be needing our pink, because we will be doing our eyebrows as well. Pink. We need our white, and this is going to go for the eyelids as well. This is going to go for the eyelids as well, and our black that's hiding from us. Okay, and we'll bring in our black because we will be making the pupils on our own. Okay, so these are going to be for the center, and as you see, they're the exact same piece. This one is just, I'm just making more for the outer piece. We're going to stop these pretty much right after we say, after we go into each circle, around each circle twice in each space. But again, I will put that up when we get there. So to begin, we're going to use our white. Okay, so we're going to start our eye. So we're going to take our white and we're going to make a magic ring. I do that by simply wrapping this around my fingers, making kind of an X. I'm going to drop my fingers out and put this string through. And it's just like making a knot. If I was to pull this, this would become a knot. So it's making an almost knot. So now I'm going to go inside. And remember, we have now moved on to our 3.5 millimeter hook. I'm going to grab my yarn, come up, and I'm going to chain one. That's just to lock on to the ring. And now I'm going to go back into this circle and place 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now that I have my 6 single crochets, I can take the shorter end and I'm going to pull it tight. Now I want to take another color. I'm going to use black real quick. If you have stitch markers, you can use stitch markers. If you don't, you could just use a different piece of thread. And we're going to place that right there. Okay, so as we go around here, we'll know when we get to the last one that we worked in, because we'll be working in the round. Okay. So I got my black there. So into these 6 single crochets, we want to go into each one 2 times with 2 single crochets. So that's an increase, and we want to increase in every single one of them. So at the end, we should have 12 single crochets in that round. So we're going to go through the first one, and we're going to place 2 single crochets into the first one. And we're going to go through the second one and place 2 single crochets into the second and the third one, and we're going to place 2 single crochets there, and the fourth one, and we're going to place 2 single crochets there, and the fifth one, and we'll place 2 single crochets there, and the sixth one, and we'll place 2 single crochets there. So I've worked in all 6 of my stitches. I now have 12 single crochets all around. I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to just move it up so I know when I go back around again where I stop. So now on this round, all the way back around, we're going to put 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we'll increase by putting 2 single crochets. So it goes 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch 2 single crochets, and again that's 1 single crochet in the next one, and the following one gets 2 single crochets. And we'll do that all the way around till we get to our marker. One, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, and 2. So I'm back to my marker. I'm going to grab that and bring it up. Now this time we're going to be placing 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and into the third stitch we'll be doing an increase by placing 2 single crochets there. So that goes 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and into the third stitch we'll go 2. Okay, I'll do that again. So we're going to go 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and into the next one we'll go 2. So it's 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and we'll do that all the way around. So now that I am back to my marker, I'm going to bring it up, place it down, and now we'll be doing 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and into the fourth one we'll be placing 2 single crochet. So we'll do 3 on their own and then we'll increase. So that goes 1 single crochet, and the next one 1 single crochet, and the next one 1 single crochet, and into the next one we'll place 2. So 3 single crochets and then an increase, and we'll do it again. 1 single crochet in the next one, 1 single crochet in the next one, 1 single crochet, and into the last one right there we'll place 2. So we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so we went all the way around. I'm going to take my marker and move it up. Now this is going to be our last round, and this time we'll be doing 4 single crochets and then an increase. Okay, so let's go in and 1, next one 2, next one 3, and 4, and then we'll be placing our increase in the 5th one. Okay, and again 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into the next one we'll increase, and we'll do that all the way around. Alright, so now we've completed that. We want to go into the next stitch, grab our yarn, and come right through. And we're just going to pull that all the way through. I'm going to put some extra so I could possibly take this all the way around and add this eye on with this extra long crease that I've left. You don't have to do that. You can always just, you know, add your yarn on your sewing, on your yarn needle to do that. But now I have my yarn needle. Let me grab my yarn needle. And what I want to do is where we've created the magic ring, I want to pull that tight. And you see that close that more. And I want to add that on and weave that in to make sure that that stays super closed. And we'll do the same thing with both eyes and the black pieces as well. Weave in your center to make sure that your center is closed. And once you've done, just cut that off. So you want to do that to all of these pieces. I want to be on the back side when I do it. And cut that one. And we're going to place the eye on right here. Bottle right there. Okay. All right, so now that we have our black on, and if you do not have a long enough string, or if you did not make it that long, just simply take the black yarn and add it onto your needle, and we'll only be working, we won't be working with it down with 2 strands. We'll only be working with 1 strand. Okay, so whatever way you place your first eye down, because we do have these points, so if you are placing this one in the center with it here, well, not the center, but if you're placing it here or here or here or here, you want to make sure that the other eye is the same. Me, I'm kind of going to go here because we will be making an eyelid, and that's going to cover some of this top portion, so I want to put this eye, make this eye look kind of like that. All right, so I'm just going to go in and out all the way around on the out, not the outside, but on that top stitch, what we would be working in if we were crocheting. Right, the top of the single crochets, I'm working in that area, and we're just going to tack this down. So you just want to make sure that that is tacked down, and once you're done, come onto the other side. We won't see this side because this will be laying flat down, and I'm going to make a knot. And then I'm going to just lose this in between this and the back of the eye and cut. So we have that on there. And of course we'll do the same thing with this one. So our next step for the eye is to make our eyelid. All right, so I have already made one of the eyelids. So I wanted to show you how it's going to look before we make it and how it's going to sit. So it's going to kind of sit like that on the eye, wherever, however low you decide to put it. But it's going to definitely cover the top of the eye for the most part. Let's see. All right, so let's get into making that piece. Now, it's very quick little piece to make. Doesn't take much to it. So we're going to get our lighter pink. And of course that pink is just lighter than this dark pink that we used. It's just pink. And we're going to chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. We will not be going into the first chain from the hook. We will be going into the second, and we will go inside the second one and place a single crochet. And we're going to single crochet down 8 of our 8 stitches. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're down 8 single crochets, and into the 9th one we want to place 3 single crochets all in the 9th stitch. Okay, 3 in the 9th, and we should have 8 remaining, and we're just going to place single crochet, 1 single crochet in each one of those 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we just want a single crochet in each one of these stitches. Just a single crochet in every single stitch, from the first one to the last, including the increase that we made. One in every stitch. Okay, and then we're just going to cut our yarn, cut it at a good point where you can easily weave this in and pull it on out. So that is the pink part. Now for the blue part, come in with our blue, and we're going to add our blue part where our foundation chain is. So we don't want to go on top, we want to go on the bottom to where our foundation chain is. We want to go through the first stitch, add our blue on the chain, and go back into that first stitch and make a single crochet. And then we're just going to single crochet all the way down along where the foundation chain is. Just 1 single crochet in every stitch. And into the last stitch, and we're going to cut our yarn, and we're going to grab and pull that through. Pull it down twice, tight, and there you have it. That's it. 3 rows. You're going to weave in all of your ends on this one. This one I've already done. And again, like I said, we'll put it down right about here. Well, I think I like that. Now, when I put this down, I'm only going to put it down once I've gotten the eye on, so that way I can go around the eye first and then come back and lay this on top. When doing so, of course, we'll use blue in this area, and we'll have to come around this area with pink. So let's go over how to place down our eyes and how to place down our pockets. And other than weaving in ends, I think we're done. Well, let's start with our pockets. So we want to place our pocket down, and our hood is right here. Let's see. So our pockets are going to go right where the arm at the top of the blanket. So one, you want to pin that down. You want to make sure you're not working on the sides of these crocodile stitches, but that you're going through the base part. And we want to just tack that on. And the hand is going to go inside here. So we're tacking down from here on down and down here and then across, and we'll use our yarn needle in which to do that. So I'm going to demonstrate just a little bit of that. So I want to take my end and I'm going to make a knot. And when placing down, you want to start, this is where the opening is going to be here. So I want to start here, that way I can go all the way along to right here and not have to worry about ending my yarn and coming back. So what I'm doing right now is just adding this yarn onto my pocket piece. And now I'm going to take and start sewing it down. Okay, so want to go into these pieces because we have pieces that look like this, but we want to make sure our pocket is secure. So kind of work around these pieces to make sure your pocket is secure. So, gonna go like this and wrap around. It's for my top. Okay, so you see I'm going through here and I'm pulling up. Gonna go through there and wrap around. And that way I know my pocket will be secure. And then on the bottom I'll go around, work in and out of this. When I go get down here, I'll just work around that. Okay, so once I've gone all along here, I just want to continue to go along the edges. And remember, we're not going to work in the side of these. We're going to go through this area right here, because these are the sides. So we're going to run along and just catch anywhere we can around that area. So I'm still wrapping it around instead of going in and out. So when I get here, again, I don't want to work over here, but I will work in between there, so that's grabbed on. And like I said, that's how it's going to be. So we'll go all the way around here, all the way down here. And when we get here, we'll do the same thing and just go around and in between the tops the same way. Okay, till we get to the end. So I've gone all the way down here to the beginning, and now I have my little opening right here. Once I make a knot, and I've already made a knot here, I just want to weave this in while I already have it here. So I'm just going to weave this back and forth. Just right into the sides and all of my piece and up and around. And then I'm going to cut that at the base. Now I'll come back and weave in all of my ends later. Don't forget that the other pocket is going to go right here on the opposite side, and we'll put this on in the same way. We'll put this one on in the same way that we did the other side. Now the last thing I want to show you is putting down the eye. Okay, now I want to put down my eye pretty much not all the way at the tip, but close to it. And I already have an extremely long string left on there from when I ended off making the eye. If you don't, just add your string onto your needle and just make sure that you only do one strand. Now we're just going to go around this whole eye right into the edges and place it down. So we're just going around the whole eye and securing it down. Okay, so we're going to go all the way around there. And I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I have come back around full circle to where I began. Now I want to take my hook and I want to run it inside this. Okay, and inside and down. It's going to make it come out on the opposite end. Now I want to secure this down with a knot. So I'm just going to make a knot right here in the middle, kind of in the middle, nothing special. And then I'm just going to weave this through back and forth, under and in between the both of these layers, which is the eye and the yellow on the back. But I don't want to go through the white on this side. I just want to keep it in between both of them. So once I am done doing that, and I've gone back and forth and around enough times to my liking, I'm just going to cut my yarn. And now I have my eye on, and of course I'll be placing my other eye right here. Now I have to put down the eyebrow. Now, I mean, not eyebrow, eyelid. So I want my eyelid to kind of sit just like that. I do not want to see white at the top. I want to make sure it's going to go over the white. All right. And I want to make sure it reaches kind of evenly on both sides. Grab a pin, and I'm going to pin it down in the middle. Now I want to use pink to work the outside, and I want to use the same blue we use to work the insides. So I have the blue closest to me, so I will start with the blue. And we're going to put this down just like we put down the eye. I want to tie a knot on the end. And I want to start on the opposite side when I first go through. So I'm just going to find it. And perfect. And that's pretty much where you want to start, where the blue begins on that side. And all we're doing is tacking this down. There's not much of a side here, but you want to make sure you get the side and then come up and make sure you go through every single stitch here along here. Once you've gotten the blue all the way down, if you aren't on the side, feed your needle through to this side without going through to the opposite side. You don't want to show on this, you don't want to show on this side. You want to go in and make a knot. Again, in the back of the eye, I just want to take and push this through. Not all the way to the other side, but in between the eye and this backing, just like we did the white. And I just want to weave it in a couple of times. And then cut my yarn at the base. Also where we begin, cut that. So now We just have to put down the pink. And we're going to do the pink in the same way we did, I have all these pins, the pink in the same way that we did the blue. And we're just going to go all the way along the pink where the pink is. And just making sure it covers there. So that is everything. We did not do the other pocket, but I showed you how to do the pocket. You know now how to connect the black piece to the white piece to the hood, the blue, the the eyelid to the eye. We did the blue part. The pink part is going to be the same. We're going to start here, go up here, and all the way around here in every stitch. Same way all the way around there. So you just have to get your other eye done and your other pocket attached. It's not something you'll miss. But I want to go over the weaving in of the ends. Once you are totally finished, your next thing is just to take all of your ends, your loose ends, and weave them in. Now, I want to show you the sides here because that's where we had a lot of start and stop with the switching of the colors. What I like to do is, now these are two different colors. They're right next to each other. Before I, but they're right next to, they're both starting and stopping in the same spot. So before I weave these in, I like to make a knot. So I just like to knot them just like that, and then I'll weave that in. Why I do that, I don't know, it just makes me more comfortable because this again is a spot where we switch colors. So, and the colors are in the same exact place, one starting, the other one stopping, and I'm just going to tie a knot. Okay, and now I'm going to weave that in, and I'm going to do that with all the places where I start and stop. And just remembering that wherever you have, when you're weaving in your ends, wherever you have the carrot, that's where you will weave in the carrot. You don't have to go in deep. You can just stay on the outskirts and weave that in back and forth a couple times here. But you just want to work in that carrot area, keeping the same colors with the same colors. So no matter which end you're weaving in, and once you've got it in there, you're going to cut at the base. So when I'm doing the dark pink, I will only work the dark pink on the dark pink area. And the same thing with the yellow. So when I'm weaving in my dark pink, I'm going to stay in a dark pink area and just zip this through at least 3 times. I'm good with that. If you feel more comfortable doing it more than that, then obviously do what makes you feel comfortable. And once I'm done, I want to cut at the base. All right, so we're just going to weave in our ends, get our other pocket on, and put down the pink of our eyes, eyelids, and the other eye. So, and then we'll take this and let's see if we can get a little person to try it on. As always, thank you guys for coming. I hope you enjoyed this series. This is the last one of this series, but I will hopefully be doing more of these because I truly had so much fun. So you guys, let's see how this looks all finished.